The air in the jewelry store was thick with the scent of polished metal and the soft hum of classical music playing in the background. Behind the counter, a young salesman named Rohan adjusted his tie, his sharp eyes scanning the showroom for potential customers. He had only been working at Elegant Jewels for 3 months, but already, he carried himself like he owned the place. His confidence was unwavering, his charm magnetic, and his sales record flawless. But today, his overconfidence was about to be challenged. The door chimed gently as an elderly woman shuffled inside. Her gray hair was gathered in a loose bun, and her worn coat draped awkwardly from her shoulders. She clutched a faded handbag that had clearly weathered many years. Rohan glanced at her, a faint smirk playing on his lips. Another window shopper, he thought. He had little patience for people who, in his mind, couldn't afford the store's high-end items. Still, he put on a polite mask and approached. "Good afternoon, ma'am." "May I help you find something?" he asked, his voice laced with rehearsed politeness. The woman looked up at him, her eyes kind but tired. "Yes, dear, I'm looking for a gift. Something meaningful." Rohan nodded, already dismissing her mentally. "Of course. Our collection is remarkable, but I should mention that our pieces can be quite costly. Perhaps you'd like to browse our more modest section," he suggested, gesturing toward a small display of lower-priced items at the back. The woman's smile dimmed for a heartbeat, but she said nothing. Instead, she strolled over to the main display, her gaze settling on a magnificent diamond necklace. "This one is lovely," she whispered, her voice soft but resolute. Rohan nearly laughed. "That piece is one of our priciest. It's not for everyone, I'm afraid." The woman turned to him, her stare suddenly sharp. "And who decides who it's for?" Rohan blinked, caught off guard. "Well, ma'am, I just mean that it's a considerable investment. Maybe something simpler would suit you better." She studied him quietly, her expression unreadable. Then, without speaking, she reached into her handbag and pulled out a sleek business card. Handing it to him, her hand steady despite the wrinkles of age, Rohan read the name embossed on it, Leela Kapoor, owner, Elegant Jewels. His stomach sank, and the color drained from his face as he looked back at her, stunned. Leela's voice was calm but firm. "Young man, I built this store from nothing. I've spent decades making sure every person who walks through those doors feels welcome, no matter what they can or can't buy. You, however, seem to have forgotten that." Rohan's heart pounded. He had heard of the founder, a woman who had risen from humble beginnings to create Elegant Jewels, but never imagined he'd meet her like this. I'm so sorry, Mrs. Kapoor," he stammered, his voice shaking. "I didn't realize." "No, you didn't," she said, gently but firmly. "And that's the issue. You judged me based on appearances, not on who I am or why I'm here. That's not the kind of service this store stands for." Rohan felt a lump rise in his throat. He'd always prided himself on reading people, but now he saw how shallow that skill had been. He was so focused on commissions and impressing management that he'd lost sight of the core values, dignity and respect. Leela's gaze softened. "I'm not here to fire you, Rohan. I'm here to remind you what Elegant Jewels stands for. Every customer deserves to feel special, whether they're buying a diamond or simply admiring it. Do you understand?" "Yes, ma'am," he whispered, lowering his eyes. "I do." She placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "Good. Remember, true success isn't about numbers, it's about how you treat others on the journey." Her words settled heavily over him. For the first time, Rohan felt humbled. He realized he'd been so fixated on personal success that he'd forgotten the people behind the transactions. In the following weeks, Rohan made a conscious change. He greeted each customer with genuine warmth, listened to their stories, and treated everyone with equal respect. The shift didn't go unnoticed. Clients began to praise his attentiveness, and his colleagues saw him in a new light. One afternoon, Leela returned. This time, Rohan recognized her immediately. He approached with a heartfelt smile. "Mrs. Kapoor, it's wonderful to see you again." She smiled warmly. "And it's good to see you, Rohan. I hear you've been doing very well." He nodded, pride swelling inside him. Thanks to you, ma'am. I won't forget the lesson you gave me. Leela patted his arm. Remember, success isn't about what you earn for yourself, it's about the difference you make for others. Keep that close, and you'll go far. As she walked away, Rohan felt a renewed sense of purpose. He had been given a second chance, and he intended to honor it. From that day on, the story of the elderly woman who owned elegant jewels became a legend among the staff, a powerful reminder of humility and kindness. And for Rohan, it marked a turning point that reshaped not just his career, but his entire outlook on life.